Sam, see, Sam, see, Sam, see. Hey guys. All right, we got story time with Trailbot, and we're coming to you from the Cayton Campground in the San Juan Forest in Colorado. And that's James Cayton, apparently, is the forest ranger that this campground is named after. Today, we're taking Trailbot on a little spin, and we're going to start an H.G. Wells classic story, short story, in the Avu Observatory. So, let's get this thing started. The observatory at Avu in Borneo stands on the spur of the mountain. To the north rises the old crater, black at night against the unfathomable blue of the sky. From the little circular building with its mushroom dome, the slopes plunge steeply downward into the black mysteries of the tropical forest beneath. The little house in which the observer and his assistant live is about 50 yards from the observatory, and beyond this are the huts of their native attendants. Thaddy, the chief observer, Thaddy, that's Thaddy. It's not a word name you hear very often anymore. The chief observer was down with a slight fever. His assistant, Woodhouse, paused for a moment in silent contemplation of the tropical night before commencing his solitary vigil. The night was very still. Now and then voices and laughter came from the native huts, or the cry of some strange animal was heard from the midst of the mystery of the forest. Hang on a second. Mystery of the forest? Let's take a look at this forest. All right. So I said we was going to take Trailbot for a little ride. Let's just take a look. And yeah, we just, some forest road right around the campground there. I do not have the number of it, but it's pretty easy to find. And yeah, we're just going to do, I think I'm just going to drive through the campground. I'm going to hang a right when we get over to the road here. We'll drive past big old Ronnie, and we'll just go through the campground. There's nobody in there. I think maybe there's one person down by the creek. But it was, boy, we sure do like that off-season camping. All right, mystery of the forest. Nocturnal insects appeared in ghostly fashion out of the darkness and fluttered round his light. He thought, perhaps, of all the possibilities of discovery that still lay in the black tangle beneath him. For to the naturalist, the virgin forests of the Borneo are still a wonderland full of strange questions and self-suspected discoveries. Woodhouse carried a small lantern in his hand, and its yellow glow contrasted vividly with the infinite series of tints between lavender blue and black in which the landscape was painted. His hands and face were smeared with ointment against the attacks of the mosquitoes. Even in these days of celestial photography, work done in a purely temporary erection and with only the most primitive appliances in addition to the telescope, still involves a very large amount of cramped and motionless watching. He sighed as he thought of the physical fatigues before him, stretched himself, and entered the observatory. There went Big Ronnie. So that was site number one, and we really like that one because there's, you got to go way over here before you get to the next campsite. So it was really good for the dogs. We could just step right out and head right into that meadow, straight up the hill. So we had plenty of privacy for the dogs. That's always a big thing with the dogs, the bark, bark, bark kind of thing. And so here we are. We're gonna just zip on through here. It's a beautiful campground. So busy in the summertime, and it's one of those that you got to book. And boy, I think they're booked out as soon as the thing opens up. They're like booked out, but just keep looking because I don't know. We've come in here a couple of times. It's been in the middle of the week, but we never had a reservation and just kind of rolled up into it because there's no damn cell service, so you're never going to be able to just going down the road and search. Hey, maybe there's a campsite open. Well, you may as well just drive to the campsite. You find out. All right, you know what? I lost my place. I should have had my thumb on it. Okay, even in these days, oh yeah, I can find it pretty quick here now. The physical fatigues before him stretched himself and entered the observatory. The reader is probably familiar with the structure of an ordinary astronomical observatory. The building is usually cylindrical in shape, with a very light hemispherical roof capable of being turned round from the interior. The telescope is supported upon a stone pillar in the center, and a clockwork arrangement compensates for the Earth's rotation and allows a star, once found, to be continuously observed. Besides this, there is a compact tracery of wheels and screws about its point of support, by which the astronomer adjusts it. There is, of course, a slit in the movable roof, which follows the eye of the telescope in the survey of the heavens. The observer sits or lies on a sloping wooden arrangement which he can wheel to any part of the observatory as the position of the telescope may require. Within it is advisable to have things as dark as possible in order to enhance the brilliance of the stars observed. The lantern flared as Woodhouse entered his circular den, and the general darkness fled into black shadows behind the big machine, from which it presently seemed to creep back over the whole place again as the light waned. The slit was a profound, transparent blue, in which 6 stars shone with tropical brilliance, and their light lay a pallid gleam along the black tube of the instrument. Woodhouse shifted the roof, and then, proceeding to the telescope, turned first one wheel, then another, the great cylinder slowly swinging into a new position. Then he glanced through the finder. The little companion telescope moved the roof a little bit more, made some further adjustments, set the clockwork in motion. He took off his jacket, for the night was very hot, and pushed into position the uncomfortable seat to which he was condemned for the next 4 hours. Then, with a sigh, he resigned himself to watch upon the mysteries of space. All right, let's just knock it off right there. I see we pulling in to stop. A little trail bot, and yeah, with our campsite. Well, that's big old Ronnie. And there she sits. And I think by the end of this thing, we're covered with snow. Okay, that's all for now, guys. Cheerio. Sam C. Okay, Big Rosie. You do your thing now.